Hey everyone, this is Richard Mitchell with Joystick.com, and for XBLA in brief this week, we're taking a look at Real Steel and Guardian Heroes. And I have something of a confession to make. I was expecting to just blow through Real Steel because I really want to talk about Guardian Heroes, and Real Steel is just some movie marketing game, right? It's a tie-in with a movie about boxing robots. Unfortunately, it turns out the game is actually pretty fun. So, unsurprisingly, Real Steel is a boxing game, specifically one in which you control giant boxing robots. It's a very arcade-style boxing game. The 4 face buttons control your left and right punches, either light or heavy. You can also modify those punches to do some special moves. And all the punches feel like they have a real impact. You'll notice that whenever one of them lands, the whole screen shakes, and it just feels like you really hit something. The full version of Real Steel is 800 Microsoft points. It's $10. It includes the single-player campaign, online and offline multiplayer for 2 players, and you can even customize your own robot. I mean, you could build your own robot. Now, I know it's kind of silly, and I know this is a movie game, but it's hitting all the right buttons. You've got giant robots boxing one another, big punches. You can build your own robots. The robots, they fight each other. It's fun. I don't know, if you like this kind of game, if you like boxing games, or robots, or both, you should at least try it out.
8, 9, 10.
Next up is Guardian Heroes, a Sega Saturn classic. It's a 2D beat-em-up developed by Treasure, the same people who brought us Gunstar Heroes and Ikaruga. In other words, people who know how to make good games. Guardian Heroes is unique in that it controls almost like a fighting game. You move around left and right. If you press up, you'll jump, and all of the characters have special moves sort of in the vein of Street Fighter. And you have to use these special moves to build up your magic meters so that you can cast some of the bigger spells and things like that. It also has 3 different planes of action. Unlike walking into and out of the screen as you do in most beat-em-ups, you actually jump between 3 different planes in Guardian Heroes. Some of the new features in the XBLA version of Guardian Heroes include quote-unquote HD graphics. If you want to turn them on, you'll see different textures. They're kind of blurry in the background instead of pixelated as they are on the Saturn version. You also have sort of a new filtered effect for the characters that make them look more like hand-drawn sprites. Personally, I prefer the good old jaggy Saturn graphics, but both options are available. There's also a new remixed control mode, which adds a few new abilities like a dash and a backstep. But it also moves a lot of the buttons around, and personally I think it's a lot more complicated than the original Saturn version. I think the original Saturn controls are a lot easier to use, but they're certainly there if anyone wants to try them. Of course, the really big addition is online multiplayer. The game actually features online multiplayer for up to 12 players at once. There's online co-op for up to 2 players, and you can join at any time, even mid-game. People can jump into your game. You can also set it so that that doesn't happen if you don't want strangers joining your game. The full version is 800 Microsoft points, that's $10, and it seems like a really solid 2D beat-em-up. Actually, I never played the original Saturn version, so this is a pretty good chance to do that if you never could. Now, personally, I think you should buy Guardian Heroes. I haven't bought it yet. I'm planning on it, but hear me out. I want to see more Sega Saturn games ported to Xbox Live Arcade. I'd love to see the Panzer Dragoon games, specifically Panzer Dragoon Saga. There are just tons of great Sega Saturn games that would be perfect on Xbox Live Arcade. So, buy this game and send Sega the message that I want more Saturn games on Xbox Live Arcade. If you could just do me that solid, we would be best friends forever. Thanks.